to launch our book, the anthology book that both Courtney and I are in, that we wrote a chapter about. And today we are going to talk about what happened in between April's B&B and the up and coming September B&B of last year. So you can start seeing what this journey is, and it constantly unpacks itself. So I want Courtney to share what she went through, because it was profound watching Courtney go through this last year, as what's happening now is even just as profound. So Courtney, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Thanks, Kathleen. I had a thought, and we probably should have worked this out before, but because my summer's kind of in two halves. And so I don't know if you want me to give the first half, and then you can give your span of that 6 months, and then I can finish with that second half. I want to start though by recapping where we left off last week. And it was at that April Books and Business, the book launch of Infinite Impacts right here, right? Came out May of last year. And that's the event that Kathleen and I met at in person last year. And the biggest piece out of Infinite Impact for me was finding my why. And that's a whole process that you go through in the book, through that alignment bit where we look at what is our deepest, most unmet need. And it's a process to figure out and unpack what that is. But for me, it's love. And so that's important to know for everything I'm about to share today, because that's what changed everything for me, was finding out that feeling is what I live for. So when we left B&B, solar eclipse was happening. You remember that? And my husband and I had arranged to go to be in totality. And we had reserved a place to stay, a little cabin, knowing it's a gamble, it's like, you don't know if it's going to be a cloudy day, whatever, but we took our chances. And it was freshly coming off of that Books and Business weekend. And the magic started happening instantly after that event for me, because for those of you that know that I'd been a member of BNI for years, and because I had just brought Amber and Isaac and everybody into my world, and I received an invitation to have dinner at Dr. Ivan Meisner's house. Now, Dr. Ivan Meisner is the founder of BNI, and I have looked up to this man forever. He had built a great organization. And here I was finally getting to go meet that man at his house for dinner. I was starstruck, honestly. I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. And it was wonderful. And Isaac and Rusty and Amber and Nancy were all there. The five of us were there. And it was just such a cosmic night. And then the solar eclipse happened that next week, and we did get to see totality through some glasses through the clouds, thankfully, and it was magical. Fast forward to May, I go to Las Vegas for a BNI conference, and Rusty and Isaac are there, and we're doing their workshop at the time. I'm helping Isaac promote his thing at the time, and seeing Ivan Meisner there again. And he was like, hey, how's it going? We were old friends, and and I'm like, man, I have just seriously leveled up. What the fuck has happened here? Seriously, I'm just like, this is cool, man. This is really surreal. Anyway, so that was a great trip. And I came home, and I was still, at this time too, I was also engaged in some work with Nancy, doing her shadow work simultaneously. So I have a lot of personal development stuff going as I'm realizing this love piece for me. And my whole thing, y'all, is coming alive. And I learned at Books and Business that my vision is that I help individuals discover their self-love, unlocking what makes them come alive. Because that's been my journey, is unlocking this self-love, figuring out what that's really all about. And the more I've started to learn what that is, man, the fucking downloads, Kathleen, like all the answers, everything that I've been trying to figure out, like this, dude, I can't even. So I come back from Vegas and I realize that I have never treated myself ever to a vacation. Myself. My whole adult life, I have never gone on a solo vacation. So PSA and putting it out there to all the women out there. If you have never taken a solo vacation somewhere, do it and go for as long as you can go, sister. I got 10 days on a beach, Alabama, Orange Beach is beautiful there. And I told Ben, I was like, look, I need some time. Like I need some time for me. Like I just really need to figure some shit out. And he's like, babe, go. You never celebrated retiring from farmers. Like you never, go. And so I had this trip. And I'm here to tell you, Kathleen, like earth shifting, that trip. I got to be on the earth every day. I was grounding every day. I was in water every day. I watched the sunrise every day, save one, because I thought I wanted to get more sleep. And as soon as I missed that sunrise, I was like, no, fuck that. I ain't missing another one. Like I was so disappointed in myself that I missed that sunrise that one day. And here's what happened. When I was alone and with myself, I got to discover me in a whole new way. And this might be TMI for some of you, but this is part of the story. I probably had more orgasms in 10 days than I had had in years. And that's important to know. And I realized that I had been locking away a whole part of me that I was ashamed of. Because women with high sex drives, like, that's not correct, right? That's slutty. That's everything bad. And I realized that I had been not being fully self-expressed in my own life, not with my husband, not with myself. I was not being real with myself about what my needs are. And so I unpacked this trunk of what are Courtney's wants and needs. And I had no fucking clue. And it was like this avalanche of realization and self-actualization. And I'm like, wow. And then processing all the guilt and the shame and like, is this going to be okay? Like Ben doesn't even know this about me. My husband doesn't know me. And so processed a ton on that beach. So to all the men out there, please, if your women's have never had a vacation, give her a vacation. Take those kids, man, let her go somewhere so she didn't have to think. And she needs more than 3 days because it takes 3 days for her to turn her brain off, at least. So 7 to 10, at least, is a good number. That was good for me. And I'm a crazy person, right? But she needs to be able to go and not have to check in every 5 minutes and just be. Very healing, very. And if I hadn't figured out my love, why, I wouldn't have realized, like, this is so important. This is self-love on another level to be able to dig in and do the work. It's not about just taking vacations and getting massages and all the things. Way deeper than that. And so I go home. Didn't want to go home. I didn't want to look at the gap. And the thing about alignment that really terrified me, y'all, is that I didn't want to outgrow Ben. Didn't. I've been feeling it already because I'd already done all this work, this shadow work and all this stuff, right? And I didn't want it to get any worse. And it felt like, but I can't stop. I can't stop figuring out who I am. I can't stop being me. I can't put it back in the bottle, right? Like, I don't want to. Now that I know, I just can't unsee what I've seen. And that was part of what kind of freaked me out with the alignment, because then I'm like, what if my whole life changes? But I kind of wanted it to at the same time. I wanted it to be how I wanted it to be. I didn't want it to go the other way. And so I get home from the beach and all I know is so loud. Move. You need movement. You need to get out of here. You've been here your whole life. You need to be around nature and water. Needs. Those are my needs. I need nature and water. Been living around hurricanes my whole life, Kathleen, Texas and the beach, and I love the beach. Ben's not really a beach fan, and I'm not a hurricane fan anymore. I'm really quite over it. And I would love seasons. I've never had seasons in my life. And Colorado is a magical place. So I get home on a Saturday. It's late. I told Ben, I said, I got so much to share with you. The next day, it was June 23rd. And I was like, had this whole download and I just gave it all to him. And I'm like, we got to move. It's like, where you want to go? It's like, I know you love mountains. I need that creek water. Like, Colorado's great. We started looking at houses. When alignment happens and they say, when you know what you want and you're aligned with yourself and the universe conspires to help make that happen for you. And from the spawn of the idea to under contract, 17 days. Like idea, like I didn't even have pre-approval on a loan. I didn't have my realtor lined up. I didn't have any of that shit. Just let's start looking at houses. And all those things happened so fast. Now, meanwhile, all this is going on, mind you, Amber is building her alignment guide program where she's taken people through, and she's got her 4-week program that she's built where she takes people through the foundational 4 framework, and it's in person and it's Zoom. It's on Zoom, and it's live, and it's interactive, and people are like, it's great. And so I'm engaged in that too at the same time with you. And like, it was just so much movement in my life. P.S. Movement is another need of mine. I must be moving forward always. If I sit in a merry-go-round and I sit and spin in some shit, can't. Forward. So we made the decision to move. And when we came, we decided it was June 30th. We'd already looked at some places and had some things lined up. And Ben says, babe, we really should go look at a place first and like make sure it smells okay and the neighborhood's okay. And I'm the impulse one. I'm like, yeah, let's just put a contract on something and hope it's all right. I'll trust the realtor. It doesn't smell, He's like, no, we should really go look at something before you put a contract on it. I'm like, okay, man, you're right. So I'm looking at my calendar. July is crammed full of alignment guide stuff. Like we got things and meetings and Zooms, and I'm looking at my calendar and I'm like, babe, this is June 30th, mind you. I'm like, babe, I got a window from July 4th to 7th. That's it. My whole month's full. Let's look at plane tickets. Girl, the plane tickets were like low miles. Like we got the trip booked, got an Airbnb in Boulder. Mind you, we were not looking at a single place in Boulder. All around Boulder. But I wanted to stay in an Airbnb in Boulder just to experience Boulder. Because Nancy Levin's in Boulder. She spoke very highly of it. I've heard wonderful things about Boulder my whole life. But Boulder's fucking expensive. Shit, I'm not like I won the lotto, people. Like, nope. Boulder was out of the question because it was too expensive. So we were going to look at Longmont. We're going to look at condos in Denver and all of that. So we flew here on July 4th. Took a walk on Pearl Street. saw the gay flag on City Hall, and I was like, I'm home. I felt safe. We went and played the first day. We went up in the mountains, explored, saw some creek water, and I'm just like, heaven. Called the realtor. I was like, cancel everything in Denver. Forget it. We're not even going. That's too far. Forget it. And add this mobile home here in Boulder to the list because I want to check that out. And that's the house I'm standing in right now. Surreal, girl. Is this real? I can't even fucking believe it, Kathleen. So I'm going to stop there because that's about halfway through summer. Yeah. So the long story is we went to Boulder, decided to buy the house in Boulder, and we put in a contract on our house in Colorado.
And I remember going to that right around that time when we had our alignment training, and you come on and you're telling us everything going on because there was so much. And I'm like, you bought a house in Boulder? Of all places, Boulder? Nobody can get a house in Boulder without spending $1 million. And I'm sitting here going, this girl says she has no money. She has to have money because you cannot live in Boulder cheaply. I've been out in Colorado my whole life. Well, most of my adult life since my 24th year. And Boulder has always just been Boulder. And it's crazy. It's a little crazy town. You got a lot of college kids. I love Boulder. I've worked in Boulder. So everything she talks about, I know about in Boulder. So it was just really shocking to hear all of this. And I'm like, she's in her honeymoon phase. I love watching this, that she's in the honeymoon, but I know what's coming. Because when you do the alignment work, it does come. And I know for me, the one thing that I never thought I would see what I would do is I went to another country by myself. I don't ever want to do that again. Only because language barriers, the bus wasn't there to pick me up, even though it was all confirmed. And the organizers said this was a reliable company. It was it was not, because on the way back, we hitched a ride with somebody who used the same company I did, confirmed everything the night before. Everything's there. And we're all sitting here in the van for like 45 minutes as the organizer is speaking in Spanish really intensely to the person on the other end of the phone. The girl paid, but there was we don't have a confirmation number. So yeah, I don't ever want to do that again. But it was so cool to be able to do that because my word is safety. I never felt safe in my life. And I think that was the biggest thing because all of a sudden it opened a whole new world, not to the degree that it did for you, but on levels of opening up and trusting. So I'm doing this alignment certification that I really didn't think I wanted to do, but I believed in it enough. And I'm in a group with people that I don't know. So that's another big, oh my God, what am I doing here? They're all business people, and I'm a woo-woo wacko spiritual person that doesn't care about money to the degree that everybody else seemed to be caring about money. I mean, I've had money, I've been taken care of and all of that, but it's not a main driving force. It never has been in my life. Sometimes I think I was crazy because I didn't care about it, but I care about people more, and I've always cared about people. So when I started opening my mouth, I thought I was going to have a heart attack almost every single time because I was terrified that I'm speaking from a different place that everybody else in this room spoke from. And I didn't know how to handle it. And then, of course, all the head trash goes on about, see, nobody likes you. Nobody cares about you. You're really a crazy person. What are you doing in this room? And I really believed all of that, but I pushed through it. I kept pushing through it because I was also in David Bear's group in the legendary program. And what was my motto? I'm just going to be here for everyone else. I wasn't one of these, I have 10,000 questions or ask the same question 20 different ways. I'm not that person. I was holding the space, I was holding the light, and I was leading by example because that's what I do. And so I'm leading, and people are like, and when I went to this event in Cabo, this one lady says, "Oh, it's Kathleen." I'm like, "Well, what the hell does that mean?" I had no idea because I take everything negatively because of what happened in my life. I always figured nobody liked me. And she's like, and then other people are like, I love her. Why? That's what I battled. Why do you like me? Nobody likes me ever. And I kept pushing through it because I knew there was nothing wrong with me. I was just programmed to think something was wrong with me. And when you come out of that place of safety and you're always looking over your shoulder because you have a perpetrator who is in your life, and even if you don't see the perpetrator, he's still alive and he's in your life. And you don't know when something's going to happen. So you're always looking over your shoulder. And I had to really just calm down from all of that. And I would go on these calls and I would always do my pearls of wisdom, so to speak. And the host always said, "You know, Kath, you show up every week and you have some of the most profound things to say." And David Bear would be like just blown away of the things that I would say, because here I am. Who the hell am I, right? I'm talking to David Bear, of all people, this big woo-woo kind of guy. Well, he's not really, but I'm sitting here saying I have a message for you because his guide, who's a giant, because I'm a giant, says you need to talk to him. And I'm sitting here, I don't think so. And I think what was so funny, and I got such a kick out of this because this was so not me to do, is I said, well, if you want me to talk to David Bear, then you're going to have to create the space for me to talk to him, because he's putting on a 3-day event. You don't mess with somebody putting on a 3-day event. You just don't do that. I'm respectful of people. Right.
Right.
So as I'm doing this, I'm going in to have this work done on me. And David just happens to be sitting right there. And I'm like, whoa, you guys are good. And I went up and I tapped him on the shoulder and I said, I have a message for you, but right now I have to go here and I'm going there. And I'm sitting here all of a sudden as I'm walking away, I'm laughing hysterically, like, who does that? Who does that? And I look back and he's laughing because he's thinking she's crazy or something, because who does this, right? And I sat there and as I'm laughing, I realized I valued me for the first time. That what I was doing for me was more important than delivering a message to this guy over here. And that was so profound for me. And I did give him the message. Well, I gave it to his wife. She thought I was crazy. And David actually said all of this on this Zoom with so many people about the message that I had delivered. And he actually told me that everybody around in his organization thought I was a little wackadoodle and all this. And he said, no, there's something here. Which she said, there's something here. So when I went to Cabo, I got another message to deliver to him. I'm like, oh God, please. And he's giving me his name. He's telling me what to say. And I'm like, go jump in the lake. And I said, and boy, because I just question when I get these kind of things. And I said, okay. And I said, well, you know the rule. Got to open him up. I'm at a 3-day event with him. He's busy. He's leading a group. You want me to talk to him? You will. Otherwise, I don't really care. Not my problem. This is your problem. Last day of the event. No, the event was already over. And he was getting coffee and I was there having coffee with him. he said, Kathleen, do you want to give me the message? It's like, if you want to hear it, I'll be more than happy to deliver it to you. Who does this, right? I'm not impressed with people like this. And he says, do you have a problem that so-and-so sitting here? I said, this is your message, David. Whatever it is you want. That person didn't want to hear it. I mean, there was like this wall that went up around everyone between me and David as I delivered this message. And then I was done. And he talked about these messages on these group calls all the time. And he may have gone and went after people about whatever their garbage was. He never did that with me. Because people are going, wait a minute, she sounds like she's having a paradigm thing and she's doing this and then. And David was like, no, not her. Because I was so far on the other side of this, and whatever I was doing, I was flipping my paradigms as fast as they were coming up. I wasn't letting them run my life anymore. And I think that was the biggest part of what I got over that summer, because I didn't realize how much I was changing. But when I look back of how things were reflected, and then the comments that I was receiving about, I want to be your friend, and I love you, and I think you're great, and you're delivering this message, and how did you learn all this, kind of thing. It was mind-blowing to me, because I settled into it. And there was a point at Cabo that I had done this work, that everything came up, and I worked with this one woman, and she made me like get it out, like birth this thing. And she stood in the stance of giving birth. And I'm like, I am so not doing that. And I did it. And she says, now let it out verbally. And I did. And it was like, what is this wailing coming out of my mouth? Who am I? And this guy, one of the custodians of the property, comes up in a golf cart. Are you okay? And we're like, yeah. I could have sworn everyone in the room could have heard us. Nobody heard us. Nobody heard us. And this was the loudest wail I had ever done. And everybody on the property heard this, but the people in the room never did.
Wow.
So it was so profound, of like this deep, deep work and releasing. And I was doing Mother Earth work besides just what I was doing for myself. So mine went so much deeper, as far as help healing the earth, help me heal, help me to feel like I really do belong here, because I never really did. I mean, I do all this work on the planet. And there was a gentleman there who said, because I was a mess, and he's like, are you okay? And I said, no, actually I'm not. I'm a real mess. I had a session with Brian and blah, 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 blah. And he says, so not only do you do this and you do this, and you're help the earth on top of it. And I'm like, yeah, like he understood. And he says, come here. And he gave me the greatest, biggest hug that I needed so desperately at that moment in time. And it was like, thank you so much for knowing and recognizing, because nobody else there could understand what I was going. Nobody understood. They could see I was a mess. And there were people that were happy that I was falling, but I wasn't falling. I was anchoring.
Yeah.
And that's what alignment was doing, where I was finally at peace, doing this profound work that I'm here to do on the earth. And yes, I think I don't know where I'm going and all of this all the time, but there are those moments of clarity that is just, I just know. And you just wait and wait and wait for more of those moments, because I ride them as long as I can when they come in, because I get so much done in those moments, because I'm in total alignment.
Right.
With spirit, not just me, but with spirit. It's a whole body, mind, soul alignment connection.
Yeah.
And that's what the ultimate goal is. And that's what I keep watching Courtney go deeper and deeper and deeper into, that alignment work. So Courtney, I'm going to turn it back over to you to finish your story.
Oh my God. So the story under the story, and I couldn't write about this in the chapter because I hadn't fully seen it yet. For context, the chapters that Kathleen and I wrote were due back in March of 25 here. So all of this realization that I'm about to share and the transparency here has all unfolded since March, really. And So
Don't give too much away.
no, because this isn't even in the book, girl. What's going on underneath behind the scenes? So I mentioned the fun I had on the beach. Bringing this up with my husband when physical intimacy hasn't been there in the way that I wanted. It's almost been not completely non-existent, but close. For reasons. Okay. I'm not here to unpack all my husband's shit today, but I understood he had things going on that were impacting him. I knew him. So I was practicing a whole lot of patience and compassion for what he was going through and giving him a whole lot of grace. And now I was looking at my own needs like, is this it? Is it ever going to come back? Got to start talking about it. It's the new elephant in the room, right? Like, I can't dodge this. If I want change, I need to put some light on it and let him know who I really am and what my needs are, and to give him an opportunity to meet them, right? So I tried to have some conversations. And when he said the words, "You just want me to be a completely different person," I was really devastated. The gap had gotten so wide, and I just wanted to share with him what I had learned about me and what I wanted to have with him, what I wanted this to be like. And like all of this passion, like, and I was given examples of what I wanted and all of that. And it was not received well at all. He was already low, and here I was shining light on all his inadequacies, everything that he wasn't doing right for me. He didn't take it well at all. And I felt so hopeless. It's gone. I'm fucked, like not in the way I want to be. Like, it's just. And so I had two options that I could see. I could only see two options. Here I am back when we were both drinking, and I had to like weigh out. It's like, if nothing ever changes, can I accept this man for who he is today and it be enough? Honest question to myself. Can I live the rest of my precious life with what I have? And I didn't want to. I didn't want to live the rest of this life not feeling that passion, not feeling that physical intimacy with someone. So now what do I do? Leave? My husband's like 90% of the way there, but that 10% feels this big. Like, and I didn't want to start over. I don't want a divorce. Like, I don't want to. We have so much history together. We're such a perfect match, you know? Like, why? No, I didn't want to leave. But so what's the other option? Asked to open my marriage. I didn't really want to do that either. And so now here I am stuck with two options, and they both suck. And it's not what I want. I want all of this just with him. So we're buying a house in Colorado. On the surface, man, everybody's like, damn, they live in the high life. Look at these motherfuckers. Like, they going to Boulder, like, damn, you know? And under the surface, I'm dying. So I didn't know what to do. massive indecision. I didn't want to make the wrong choice. This is a massive fucking thing here. And I didn't know what to do at all. And the whole Colorado house in the back of my mind was like, well, this is the plan B. Because if this doesn't work out, I want Ben to be okay. He's my best friend. I'm not going to leave him stranded in Texas, a place that he never wanted to be in to begin with. And he moved there for me. And now I want him to be in a place where he can thrive, even if he doesn't have me. Love him that much. So the move to Colorado continues, and we got the house. And I knew that all I could do, my only option, what do I have control over here? Have I done everything? Have I done everything that I can do? And the answer was no. I'm just now figuring out how to love myself. Maybe I should focus on that. And instead of focusing on all the work he needs to do, come on, Courtney, work your program. How about I focus on what the fuck I need to be doing? How about that? And making myself as important as this marriage is. Now, that looked like totally changing my life, Kathleen. And I realized that, okay, and this is one of my little phrases, and y'all hear me say it a whole lot. When you don't know what to do, pour into you, and the answers will come. And I thought, well, this can go one of two ways. If I start pouring into me and I start figuring out all about me and my love and for me and what I need and what I want and nurturing me in all the ways and trying things on, what do I like? What don't I like? Fucking learning myself all over again. Learning myself for the first time, really. Like in the depths of me, like really going deep into me, as to your point. Like I kept digging in. One of two things could happen. Either, well, maybe this might rub off on him a little bit, like osmosis here, like, maybe my energy and my frequency might kind of like affect him in some way, although no expectation there, like, but maybe that could happen. I hope that could happen. Maybe that might pull us closer together. Or maybe I'm going to keep widening that gap because I'm going to keep growing. And someday I'll be brave enough to leave. And sure enough and clear enough that our love had run its course. But I would always love him. So I'm like, okay, here we go. That's the options I have, right? At that point, it was clear there was no other option. Know yourself, Courtney. This is your one fucking life. And if it's not meant to be with him, that's okay. But I got to figure out all of me to know what's true. And that was, I made the decision that I was going to sign up for Nancy Levin's reinvention coaching in the fall and take her coaching program. Because it was time to really lean into this new life that was brewing for me and that I was feeling that I was being called to do, and figuring out how to come alive, even if Ben didn't come with me. That's very scary. But I knew I had to. For me. And just hope it would all work out. And in the end, no matter which way it went, either he was going to grow with me at some point or I'd be strong enough to leave. Either way, it was going to be a win-win for me. So I had to try. And this is all part of that alignment train. Y'all, once you're on it and you feel something is going to be a good thing for you, go for it. Go for it. So that brings me to the end of the summer, Labor Day weekend. We made a trip up to Colorado with a load of stuff. And the moving journey began. It took us several months, and then booked some business in Denver. Funny, I had a house in Boulder, but I didn't stay in it because I didn't have any furniture in it at the time. Just a bunch of boxes and crap. So all of that to say, when you're unsure, take a beat. Ask yourself, have I done everything? Do I love myself fully? Do I know myself fully? Like all this stuff. And if the answer is no, don't throw in the towel just yet. Do yourself the favor and figure out what your alignment looks like.
And you'll always know when you're not in alignment, because if things start getting under your skin or things you're observing your life, because alignment is about observation, being present now, and you're observing things, but you don't get a message about it, but you're observing it going, wonder what that's about. And then you just let it go. And then all of a sudden something else comes along, a little different, but it's enough to go, wonder what's that about. And then it hits a third time and you go, okay, got to look at whatever this is. Because now you're starting to see a pattern.
Yes.
Now it's not a bad pattern. You're just noticing a pattern and it doesn't feel good with you. And if it's not feeling good with you, then you need to go inside and say, okay, what is this about? What is triggering me? Because it's a trigger. When you have that, icky feeling like something's not right, it's something's triggering you and you need to stop and look and reflect on it. And sometimes it can come very quickly and sometimes it can't.
Yeah.
And when you're being triggered, it's just breathe, because sometimes something can happen all of a sudden and you're just like this banshee crazy woman going blah, 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 kind of thing. And then it would be like, okay, need to stop, slow down, sit down, breathe. Because I've done that too, where all of a sudden, like, I don't know if it's an energy surge that hit me or what it was, but all of a sudden I became a crazy banshee woman. I mean, totally banshee to myself. And I don't like when I'm banshee to me. It's one thing if I'm to other people. It's a different thing when it's all by me and I'm a banshee crazy person. And it's like, Kath, stop. And sometimes I had to talk to myself that way because my head was like going, blah! And I was like, stop, slow down, breathe, and feel what is going on. Now, it's usually just an energy surge. It could be nothing. But it's just get composure to yourself, because the minute you're out, crazy lady, the Tasmanian devil, the she devil, whatever you want to call it, you have to gain control. And that's part of what coming back into alignment is. If your emotions are on your surface, first of all, cry, because that means something's ready to come in and something's ready to change. And when you don't cry, you stop the process. So you want to make sure that you feel whatever this is, be in it. I don't care how much it sucks. Believe me, it sucks to be me a lot of times in my life. But you know what? I feel it, I'm with it, and I get on the other side of it. And it gets easier and faster every single time because I'm learning more and more and more. We are an unending book. We will always be an unending book. Give yourself grace. Love yourself. Nobody will love you like you do. Nobody. So do that for yourself. Give yourself the grace and the love that you deserve, because you are worthy and you are deserving. And it's not easy work, but it's worth while we work. The magic that comes in when we do this for ourselves is always unbelievable to me. It's always unbelievable because it's like, where have I been my whole life? Did I stop this my whole life? What was I thinking? Don't beat yourself up. It was part of what you had to learn to be able to have this magic come in your life. And that's the truth.
That part.
And so with that, the book launches on September 9th.
Yeah.
And we'll put it, huh? Yeah, it's like in 2 weeks. Yeah. Yeah. So the book is launching and you can pre-order your copy, and we will be at the Books and Business and we will be doing book signings there. I don't know if you can come. We can figure something out here. If you want us to do a book signing at our local bookstores, just reach out and let us know, and we'll be more than happy to set something up at Barnes & Noble. And Barnes & Noble really likes local authors on top of it.
Absolutely. Well, how can
because we want to get the book in books and we want to get it in Barnes & Noble, and Barnes & Noble is doing that. My books are in Barnes & Noble because I've been doing book signings. So yay. So we can do that here as well.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
So anyways, we will be back next Thursday at 10 a.m. to continue from September to about January, when we were asked to write the book. And there's so much more change that went on from that period. And then the change from when we started the book and where we are today is even more profound. I mean, this is a journey, and we need to look at our lives as a journey, and it unfolds when we say yes to us.
That's right, Kathleen.
Yeah. So I want to thank Courtney for being here. This was a lot of fun. I hope you guys got a lot of fun out, learned a lot from this, and we will see you all next week at 10 a.m. Bye for now.